When you walk away, you do... Oh. Hey guys. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Key back at it again with another Kingdom Hearts video. And as of last night, we finally got an announcement for Kingdom Hearts 4. What? Okay, look, I was going into this event with my expectations so low. Like, the lowest it could possibly be. I was holding out for Kingdom Hearts 4 for the longest time, but I didn't think that they were actually going to do it at this event. It felt like I was literally just like a couple years ago playing Kingdom Hearts 3 for the first time, and here it is. 3 years later. It's happening. We don't know exactly when it's going to release, and obviously the game looks unfinished, but that's what this video is about. Today, we're going to be analyzing the trailer. We're going to geek out because my reaction was muted, and I just need to get all of these thoughts out loud. So, let's just get into it. So, frame 1, the Lost Master arc. That alone gives us so much information. Could the Lost Master possibly be Luxu? Could this be anything about the Lost Keyblade Masters, the Foretellers? We don't really know exactly what it is, but this is a very big announcement that we have finally crossed into the new arc of Kingdom Hearts. And honestly, this does feel like the start of a new era. The whole game looks completely different to what I was expecting. And speaking of Luxu, I do firmly believe that the person that is narrating at the start of this trailer says, if this isn't the ending you desired, if it brings you despair, leave this world for another. Your options are endless. Like, that's gotta be Luxu. I'm not the only one who thinks that, right? Who else could be talking? Unless, of course, it's the Master of Masters putting on his serious voice. But normally when he speaks, he has like a kind of Ryan Reynolds vibe. I know that sounds really dumb out loud. Why did I say that? It doesn't sound like the Master of Masters, but it could be. And after he's done saying that, we do kind of fade away from the city setting into a little bit of other dialogue, kind of like the likes of the opening of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, where there's some kind of little mysterious poem. The heart resides within the soul, which in turn is guided by fate to its rightful place. Now, what exactly does that mean? Does this mean Sora was originally from Quadratum, or that this whole event of the past saga were just a dream? We don't really have anything. It's really just more and more confusing, but that's just Kingdom Hearts. I really am not surprised by that. We'll probably know more about this later, and I'll probably have theories about it at a later time, but for now, we're gonna move past this because we find ourselves in a very forest-like setting, the likes of which looks sort of familiar. Out of the corner of our eye to the far right in this lush green area, we can see what looks like a metal surface plate of some kind, and I did find this on Twitter. I was not the one who originally spotted this because I kind of woke up to it. But that looks like the foot of an AT-ST walker from Star Wars. So a lot of people are actually thinking this, and I think it's pretty likely at this point too. Since Disney acquired Star Wars and Marvel, it's kind of been an inevitable outcome that Kingdom Hearts would explore it to some degree. But because Quadratum takes place in a hyper-realistic version of our world, it kind of makes sense to take the live-action aspect of Disney and incorporate it into a Kingdom Hearts game of that kind. So we could be seeing Star Wars, we could be seeing Marvel superheroes, we could be seeing stuff from their legacy films, stuff like that. We really have so many options to choose from, and I want to be discussing more on the worlds later, so hit subscribe if that sounds interesting to you. After that, we get a little zoom in on a single chess piece, the chess piece on the board that represents Sora from the gameplay between Master Eraqus and Master Xehanort when they were younger, and it says the choice is yours once more. What I think this could mean is at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, it was up to Sora to decide the fate of everyone else because he was able to kind of travel through time backwards so that he could save everyone, and the choice is once again his to decide to help or not, using the power of waking. On who? Again, we have no idea. Speaking of Sora though, we have our boy right there. There he is. That's Kingdom Hearts for Sora. And his hair, by the way, is the one thing that was throwing me off, okay? When I reacted to this, I initially thought, yeah, no, that's Sora. I mean, look at his clothes. Look at his necklace. That's Sora right there. Yeah, that's the boy. But then his hair and his face just kind of threw me for a loop, if that makes any sense. He doesn't seem like our little happy-go-lucky hero anymore, man. He seems so, like, depressed, like a Final Fantasy protagonist. And of course, you know, that makes total sense because a lot of people were speculating that with all the kind of nods and homages to the previous Versus 13 project that got cancelled, Nomura might be getting his revenge finally by incorporating some of those elements into Kingdom Hearts, and thus that's why Sora is looking a little bit like Noctis, Lucius Caelum from Final Fantasy 15. Oh, and just one last thing on this particular shot. I love that since this is the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts 1, this scene in particular kind of mirrors the opening scene for Kingdom Hearts 1, where Sora wakes up on a beach and his eyes open in the same sort of way. I know that sounds really irrelevant, but I just thought it was a nice nod and wanted to point it out. Speaking of Sora's waking up call, it was a doorbell, and at the door is none other than Strelitzia. If you guys don't know, Strelitzia is a Kingdom Hearts Union Cross character who actually died, so what does this mean? Well, she tells Sora that he's been asleep for the past 7 days, 7 again being a very important number to Kingdom Hearts, and this is Quadratum. This is the thing that we saw at the very end of Kingdom Hearts 3 in the secret ending, and she explains that this is sort of a afterlife for Kingdom Hearts characters, which makes sense, I guess. I mean, where dreams go to die is reality, am I right? Man, that just got really dark. I am so sorry. If you remember from the opening of the trailer, a little ball of darkness started forming in the middle of this Shibuya Quadratum-like world, and it turns now into a giant dark side. And of course, our boy Sora runs directly at it, Keyblade in hand, summoning it, uses this chain-like whip thing to get up to it, and the gameplay, by the way, looks incredibly smooth. It's running in Unreal Engine 5 or 4, whatever Unreal Engine we're on right now, and it just looks absolutely incredible. The gameplay is looking really, really nice, and I love how it transitions directly from the cutscene into the gameplay. That's something that we got in Kingdom Hearts 3, of course, but it's just nice to see it continued in Kingdom Hearts 4. And the gameplay, even though it looks unfinished, is still really, really, really good. Now then, the fight against the giant dark side continues. It goes on and on and on. We're seeing a couple of really nice action scenes. Sora turns his Keyblade into a drill of sorts. The fight continues. It's really, really good. But up atop a building, watching the fight take place, if you do leave this world behind, don't expect to return to the one from which you came. Again, this is most definitely Luxu or the Master of Masters because they are cloaked figures, and I mean, who else could it possibly be? All the other organization members are pretty much dead at this point, or gone, deceased, returned back to their normal human forms. I don't really know. These are the only two in cloaks that I could possibly think of, and the Master of Masters did show up at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 in the ending credit cutscene. So it only makes sense that he is here and he is explaining what the deal is with Sora. After that, we get the title card, and what a glorious logo it is. It's exactly how everyone expected it to be. A young 7-year-old me dreamed of this day, and honestly, it's just mind-blowing. From there, we get a little bit of an end cutscene featuring Donald and Goofy, so we do confirm that they will be in this game, and they're looking really, really nice, really, really clean in this cutscene. And here they are looking around for a certain someone, but who could it be? I immediately guessed it, and I think everyone agrees that this is Hades of the Underworld, and they're looking for answers on where Sora's whereabouts could be. And since Quadratum deals with the afterlife, I think that that's why they're looking for Hades in particular, to seek his help, maybe find a way to go to the other world in some way. Honestly, in the end, I think this trailer left me with more questions than answers, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens within the next few months. I know that we're going to get more news soon, and I hope you all are looking forward to it just as much as I am. Well, that just about does it for my little early speculation and or observing of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. If you guys want more Kingdom Hearts content, I know I said it a couple times before in this video, hit subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, because I'm a growing Kingdom Hearts YouTuber. I'm on this hype train, and it is not slowing down anytime soon. I'll be covering the other stuff that was shown today at the event, including the mobile game, at a later time, but I really just wanted to talk about Kingdom Hearts 4 because that's what's on everyone's mind, right? I've been Key, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.